There is something that has just been all across the news all year here in Victoria.
Contract killings, a plot to desecrate a grave, more than 60 tobacco shops firebombed in just over a year. In Melbourne, the so-called tobacco wars are reaching boiling point. Rival underworld gangs locked in a violent battle for the control of the billion-dollar illicit tobacco trade.
Money is the prime motivation. It could be valued up to $200 million a week that these crime gangs are making.
That's the sound of the police!
You better start talking.
Jason Lawrence.
Answer me!
Probe the Popo.
Tell me what you know.
That's right. Every couple of weeks, we get a different area of the Victorian Police in. This week, it is Detective Acting Sergeant Carly Murdoch who is leading up the task force.
Good morning.
For the tobacco shop wars.
Morning, everyone.
Good
Now-
morning.
Just to simplify things, because we see it on the news, the tobacco wars, people firebombing tobacco shops. What exactly are these people fighting about? Because buying cigarettes isn't illegal.
No, it's not. So it's the illicit tobacco side of things. So they're fighting over wanting control over that illicit tobacco market.
So why is there an illicit tobacco market if it's legal anyway?
I guess the illicit market in regards to tobacco, it's very, very high profit.
Right.
So it's all to do with money.
Is it stronger? Is it
I don't believe so.
right?
It's
Cheaper?
very
Right. So
yeah.
that's why people don't want to go and pay. Because buying a pack of cigarettes is like $60.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's
okay,
expensive.
so the prices are varying from shop
Because it's
to
like
shop.
loose leaf. It's like loose leaf tea, but for tobacco.
Gotcha. So
Yeah, correct.
when I go past, I don't know, Mr. Smokes, just a made-up name, right? A tobacco shop just on my little corner group of shops. Are they, like, is it run by organised crime, or Joe who runs the store could be legit?
Yeah, so potentially could be a legit store that's
Yep.
selling legitimate cigarettes just like your Coles and your Woolworths.
And random gifts. Have you noticed there's random gifts in
Yeah,
the shops too?
and that's the hard part. So a lot of these, the buildings are actually owned by building owners,
Right.
and then you'll get the business leasee in who will set up this business, and sometimes, as you just said, it's a brand as a tobacconist. Other times it's as simple as a gifts and accessory shop.
Yeah.
So the building owners themselves might not actually know that the leasee is selling tobacco out of their store
Right.
that they own.
Oh,
So
they'll be thrilled when their shop gets firebombed.
correct, which is there's a lot of work being done currently in terms of notifying the building owners.
So does this, Carly, speak to Melbourne's underworld, because it is happening so much more in Victoria than it is in any other state
Yeah.
around Australia?
Yeah, correct. So there's definitely an organised crime element to it. We're finding that it's a mixture of Middle Eastern organised crime. There is a bikie element to it. A few other syndicates around Melbourne. It's just because it is so, I guess, low risk and high profit that organised crime have taken a liking to it due to that reason.
So it's the
And
evolution of Melbourne's underworld, effectively.
Yeah, correct.
This
and
is going to
yeah.
be the next Underbelly. Attack on the Darts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Back on
screams
the
it.
tobacco.
Yeah, you can scream. You can
And does
see
it
now.
involve vapes? Because vapes confuse me.
Yeah.
Vapes confuse me, and I'm
You're
police
running the
officer
task force.
running a task force. No, so we're being told that like we're not the vape police, and we're not like the illicit tobacco. You know, even though we are dealing with illicit tobacco day in day out, we're not targeting those people that are walking in buying the discounted illicit cigarettes. Like
Okay.
that's more of an issue when it comes to like the ATO and the health department.
Gotcha.
Got
Yep.
it.
It's the arsons and the crime that's coming out of it that we're getting involved, and that's what we're looking into. And of course, then the damage to the businesses and stuff like that comes with the arsons.
So we're seeing countless times a week cars being torched, driven into the front of shop fronts. There have been some incidents of shootings and the like. Is there a concern among police that, you know, potentially somebody who is innocently going about their daily life could become, you know,
Collateral
intertwined
damage.
and collateral damage?
100%, and it hasn't happened yet, luckily.
Yep.
And it's, to be honest, we kind of say to ourselves, we don't know how it hasn't happened yet, that someone's been seriously injured. But there has been cases where there's been people either living above the stores, in the stores, or neighbouring properties beside the stores that have been treated at the scenes for smoke inhalation and things like that.
Have you guys raided any stores and found the owners to be concealing firearms and like ready to go if their store's attacked?
No. So what we find is that the people that are working in these stores, sometimes there will be a link to the organised crime element that they've got a associate working in the store.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we honestly find that it's your retiree who's just making a couple of $100 a week.
Just working there.
Cash in hand, working there.
Oh, the old cashy.
Oh, which is terrible.
And it's sad.
Exactly.
Because
It
they
is.
don't know what they're getting into.
No, and to be
They're
honest,
porn.
a few of them I've spoken to, they don't even realise that they're doing the wrong thing and what they're doing is actually illegal because
Yeah.
they don't know.
Do you know who these crooks are?
We've got a fair idea. Of course, I can't name them.
Of
No.
course. But
We've got a fair idea. There's a Middle Eastern organised crime family they're the ones that want
the
control.
central point.
100%. So they want control of the illicit tobacco market, not only in Victoria but Australia. And then
So-
you've got
Is it only a matter of time for them?
well, they're doing a good job, potentially, but there's always going to be rival syndicates and rival gangs when there's so much money to be made that are going to be trying to get their foot in the door, and that's where the conflict is.
What's the industry worth? Like, how much money is being made?
Millions. Yeah, weekly.
We're in the
That's what
wrong
we've-
game, guys.
Millions weekly.
Yeah,
the wrong game.
Australia-wide, that's what
Yeah.
we've been told is a rough figure
Wow.
through the sale of the illicit tobacco.
So is there an end to it in sight?
Oh, I hope so. I think there are some things being done at the moment at government level in terms of because Victoria is the only state that is unregulated when it comes to tobacco.
Oh, it feels like it's Melbourne in the news, Victoria in the
Yeah.
news all the time about it. Hey, we've got to take a quick break. Stay with us. We're on the air with Detective Acting Sergeant Carly Murdoch. She is leading up the task force that is trying to shut down the tobacco wars. There's actually a question I've got for you, Carly, which it's the first thing that comes to mind when I go, hey, you've been given this job. I'll hit you up about it on the other side of this here on Nova. Now, look, let's be honest. At the root of this problem, it's people going to tobacco stores to buy cheaper tobacco than what they should be paying when they're buying it like at the supermarket and
Which
stuff.
I get because
Totally get
we were
cost of
just-
living crisis and stuff. Are the cops targeting the people who are buying it, or is that not the issue?
No, that's not what we're looking into. We're not going to sit outside a store and grab you if you leave with a cheap
Yeah.
packet of cigarettes. That's not what we do day to day. It's for us. It's more about the organised crime behind it. What
Yeah.
syndicates set up that store? Who's that store aligned to? And
Here's a question. Say if I'm in the market for buying a cheap pack of ciggies because of cost of living and everything. Now, I know I'm doing the wrong thing. How do I know which stores are doing this? Are they advertising online? Is there...
from what I've heard, some stores you walk into them and they've got like a list. So on the
Like a
counter there'll
menu.
be a menu with the pricing.
So a lot of it's just word of mouth.
Yeah, and I think
They're not hiding it.
No, they're not hiding
Nah.
it.
How full on's this? A lot of these gangs are kids. They're recruiting kids. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, so a lot of the what we find, a lot of the people that are doing the arsons themselves are your younger kids, and not only gang kids. Like we've also had just kids that have heard about making a couple of
Well, it's
Couple
money.
of bucks.
It's
Money,
all,
couple of bucks.
it's all
Yeah,
money, isn't it?
Here's $200.
And
Go
are
and
they-
torch that shop.
Are
Pretty
they
much.
inadvertently setting themselves on fire?
yes. So that's and look, no one's been hurt that I know of doing it, so we can laugh about it. But we have seen some singed eyebrows. We've seen people jump into cars and they're still smouldering.
Oh my god.
They'll flick off a glove and leave it behind, which is great for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see some funny stuff like,
Dumb criminals.
yes, yeah.
When you get given a role of being like the leader of a task force, and you're tackling something which is gang related, is there a fear of you being tied up in that? Like, do you worry about them coming after you?
Oh, I guess there's different units in Victoria Police that target a lot of different things. And
Because I commend the job you guys do. But like
Yeah.
when you go home at the end of the day, if you've just shut down 9 tobacco stores and now you've got this family who's running the syndicate, so to speak, are going to hate your guts. Surely that would play in your mind.
Yeah, but I guess it's the rival syndicates that are burning the stores, so I guess they take their anger out on that rival
Right.
syndicate
Yeah.
more so than us. We're just doing our job trying to protect the businesses next door, the people that are in these stores.
Actually, it's funny you say that. Remember when we were talking to the drug lab cops, and they were saying 9 times out of 10, when a group gets
Yeah.
raided, they're actually relieved to see it's the police raiding the drug lab.
Not a rival gang.
Yeah, it's, the cops are here. Okay, no worries. Hands straight up. They don't put up a fight. You got us.
Yeah, and 100%. That's exactly it. I think they take their anger out on and put their time
Each
into
other.
figuring out, well, who's targeted my store
Yeah, right.
and who do I now need to retaliate, I guess, and target one of their stores.
Wow.
Hey, before we let you go, we had the top cop, your boss, Shane Patton, in last week, and I believe the
Did you
audio.
hear about this?
I got briefed yesterday.
We
yes,
love him. We
That
love
he
Shane
came in and he didn't actually know what Popo was.
No, I've got the audio. Take
It's
a,
like dad's in the
oh
house.
no, take a listen to this.
Very quickly, true or false, Chief Commissioner? Popo. You didn't know what Popo meant.
Yeah, I've got to get out more, obviously. No, my media director the other day was speaking to me about Popo, and she said, they're all talking about this. I said, what's Popo? And it just, anyway, I've got to get out more.
Maybe look at a rebrand on the cop cars. Take off police, put on Popo. God, love him.
Are you allowed to give him a bit of grief about that?
Oh, look, we don't cross paths often.
Oh, well, now you've got a reason to reach out.
You never know, he might be buying a cheap pack of Winnie Blues when you do one of those action
Yeah,
days.
well, if I see him there, I'll
Be
definitely
worried.
bring it up.
I'd give him a lead pass between you and I. Hey, thank you very much for the work you guys are doing.
We
It's
love the Victoria Police.
We love the cops. It's in all the headlines, and this is a really important job you guys are focusing on at the moment. So thanks for coming in
No,
this
thank
morning.
you.
Jason Lauren. Jason Lauren.
Wake up feeling good.
On Nova 100.
Jason Lauren.
Follow them on socials.